Next up, we have Soul Snatcher by Dex Arson, featured in Geometry Dash is my understanding. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what is happening here, musically. So, if you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, if we somehow hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube before Christmas 2025, I'll play a single video game of the choice of the community. Members get early access, artists, let's collaborate, how to request songs if you're not in the live stream, gaming channel, I have a whole spiel for this and a bunch of other stuff at the end of the video, so stick around for that. Disclaimers showing on your screen right now, so go ahead and pause the video if you want to read them in full. Otherwise, let's do this. Soul Snatcher. Let's go. Okay, we start with, of course, our drums giving us our drum beat. We have a very nice bass line going on, and then we have our bigger synth giving us our initial motif. Motif being the smallest version of your musical idea, the seed, the essence from which everything else comes from. And immediately we are sequencing it. I keep forgetting to delete this. So, we are immediately engaging in what is called sequencing. Sequencing is one way that you can develop your material. What it does is that you are repeating the same musical idea, usually the melody, from a different starting point. So let's bring out a simpler example, right? Let's say we have this C major. And by the way, sequencing can happen two ways. It can be diatonic or it can be chromatic. I think chromatic is the right term. So, diatonic means that it's within this scale that you're playing. Chromatic, it means that you're playing the exact same distance, right? So, let's say we have the scale of C major, which is just the white keys on the keyboard. The distance between the notes varies depending on where you are on the scale. But if we take, let's say, this motif, and we then sequence it, we're going to repeat that same shape, just from a different starting point. So if we do it diatonically, it doesn't matter the distance that we're covering, it just matters that we're covering the notes in the same order, just from a different starting point. That kind of thing. However, if we were to do it chromatically, we would be talking about absolute values. So if we were to do the same thing, but chromatically, which becomes, the whole tone scale, which is, it's like the mystical thing. But then, you get the idea now that these are the two main ways that you can do sequencing. We are engaging in sequencing now with the main motif that we're having over here, which is a fairly simple motif that we're having. I'm looking forward to see what happens with this. Let's see where it goes. Nice. We repeat, straight repetition of the whole thing. And by the way, because of how short this motif is, every time it repeats, every repetition builds up into a phrase. Multiple instances of this motif, each variation becomes a phrase, which then turns into our melody. That's usually how these work. Let's see where this goes. All right. And we have a brief moment of going off the ramp. Off the ramp being, of course, a colloquial term that I use, right? It's colloquial, by that I mean there's no official academic definition for this, or at least I'm choosing not to use it for the sake of simplicity. And off the ramp is what I call a type of transition. It can be as short as a couple of beats. It can be as long as an entire section. And the purpose of it is to make your listener feel suspended up in the air at the mercy of inertia, waiting to see where you land, kind of like going off a ramp. How do you do that? Remove the drums. Maybe the bass as well. You can remove as many layers as you want, as long as you get that feeling of suspended. Let's see where it goes. New rhythm here. New synth, and I'll follow your soul. We engage in a little bit of rhythmic displacement there before the drop. So rhythmic displacement is when you well, as the thing says, displace something in the rhythm, right? So you can either push something back, rush something forward, something like that. In this case, what we have done, which is very common in electronic music and EDM, is that you use some sort of sample, usually some vocal sample of somebody speaking or something like that, to delay the dropping of the beat. Because when you're making music, you're doing one of two things: you are building tension, or you're resolving that tension. That point in between we usually call the cadence. However, if you then engage in rhythmic displacement, what we are doing in this case, that we're doing it right at the moment of the cadence, is that we are pushing the cadence back a little bit. We're pushing the resolution back, and that moment of silence gives us additional phantom tension that then makes the cadence, the resolution, feel a lot more pronounced, which is what exactly has happened here. Let me hear it again.
Oh, your soul!
We engage in the traditional good old dubstep whoop whoop dropping off the beat. When you're making music, you also want to keep a careful balance between what is familiar and what is new. Too much familiarity, too much repetition, too much of the same thing, you risk boring the listener, they tune out. Too much new material too quickly, you risk overwhelming the listener, they tune out. There is one universal exception, which is solos. You introduce a solo, any instrument, any genre, if it sounds cool enough, you can get away with it, good stuff. If it sounds cool enough and it fits enough. Electronic music has one additional exception, which is dropping the beat. You can do as much new material as you want. In this case, we're just going full whoop whoop mode. We're introducing these really cool synths, really cool textures, completely unrelated material to what we were doing before, but we get away with it. Why? Because it sounds cool. It sounds cool, and it's part of the dubstep thing, so let's see where it goes. So yeah, completely unrelated material. We're just completely messing around with rhythm and whoop whoop bass. Oh, these rhythms. Oh, rhythmic displacement again. And we continue. So this right here is a risky move. He's getting away with it. Dex is getting away with it because it sounds so cool and it's so satisfying. The sound design here is really satisfying and really cool. So we're getting away with it. However, the exception, overdoing there is such a thing as too much of a good thing. So if you keep repeating the same structure, if you keep doing the same thing, again, if you can overdo it. You can overdo the dropping of the beat. You can overdo a solo. So it's a careful balance to achieve. Right now, doing it twice, not a big deal. Let's see where it goes. Yeah, just going through. And now we are introducing a little bit of an element of call and response to this. We are adding a little bit more structure to this with call and response. Call and response is a musical conversation. Right now we have the whoop whoop bass doing a call, and now we have this other synth a little bit higher giving us a response. That is a musical conversation. That is a call and response. We're having a back and forth between the two, which adds a little bit more pace, a little bit more structure to this, which is something that this beat drop actually needs. So let's see where it goes. Nice. All right, we introduced another melody now. Good way of transitioning smoothly between these two. Let's see. Let's see here. Nice, nice. Very beautiful melody, and I think this melody is taking what we were doing before and just playing the notes one after the other, like continuously, rather than bouncing back and forth between the notes. So it's a variation of the rhythm of the motif that we had. Very, very beautiful melody over here, and it is, and this is how I think you can really smoothen the transition between you're dropping the beat. You keep the beat that you had before during the drop, and you just introduce the melody. Variation of the melody, really good. Let's see where it goes. Off the ramp, we bring some of these texture. Yep, and it works. Yeah.
I'll swallow your
Immediate
soul.
build up. Back to the whoop whoop. Call and response, similar to what we did the first time around, so at least we have that going on. So yes, right now, Dex saves the day here by having this brief moment before with the variation of the melody. It stitches everything together and it prevents the piece to start sounding disjointed, because the problem is if you do drop after drop after drop after drop and you don't refer back to the original material, you risk starting to have your material start to sound disjointed. And because motifs are extremely dangerous and extremely jealous. When I say extremely dangerous, if you misuse a motif, it will destroy your music. And they are very temperamental, very jealous in that sense. So if you're not constantly giving it the spotlight, like the motif will be like, fine, the solo can have the spotlight for now. Fine, the dropping of the beat can have the spotlight. It becomes impatient, increasingly impatient. And then, yeah, it can really sound disjointed. For example, there's a genre that suffers a lot from this, and it's called gent. Gent is a type of heavy metal where you play really cool riffs, one after the other, after the other, after the other, and there's no relation between the riffs. There's no relation between the material, and it's just like listening to a Frankenstein's monster of just parts stitched together from things that have absolutely no relation from one another. And it's very disjointed, and it's a slightly more niche market for a reason, because you have to intellectualize, you have to go through several layers of intellectualizing and actuallys to be able to justify that what you're listening to. So let's see where it goes. Have a good one, Robert. Yeah. So now that we have the melody here, we can get away with maybe 2 more drops. Yeah.
We'll tear your soul apart.
And as I said, we can maybe get away with another drop. We immediately do that. And I like that we are now referencing back. So we're not just doing completely new material. In this case, we are using some of the stuff that we used before. We are using that same structure as before. So with this, we can get away, because now we're back to the call and response, and we are taking this. So this is very well built. Let's see where this goes. Surprisingly, it doesn't get boring precisely because of this, because we are revisiting the material that we've done before. We're doing it in a slightly new way. We are still referencing the initial motif, so there is still that sense of coherency. It still sounds coherent enough, because it is when the music starts sounding incoherent that you start getting bored of it. One way, or you're going to either get bored or you're going to get overwhelmed. And if you get overwhelmed, it's going to get boring very quickly, because you start understanding what is happening. However, in this case, we are using the same 2 drops that we used one after the other, the same way we did before, and we're just doing minor adjustments to this one this time, to these drops in the new way. And with that, we have created a solid, coherent structure to what otherwise would be very easily an incoherent ramble. So, very well played by Dex over here. Let's see where it goes. So in theory, we're still doing the same thing as before. How's this gonna go through, though? I guess we're gonna have an outro after this? We're gonna recapitulate some of the original material, maybe? And there we go. We bring back the melody in full. There we go. So we use the same transition that we had before, from the dropping of the beat back to the to this version of the melody, and it works beautifully. And now we have this like climactic feeling to this. We are gonna be heading towards the end of the track now. Let's see how it ends. Let's see how it ends. So now we're making sure that we fully expand on that melody. We repeat one more time. It's a funny autotune. It's a funny effect. It's not necessarily autotune. It's a funny effect because it makes it sound kind of like a vocal box, but it's not. It's just a synth with some very interesting layers to it. It's really cool. Let me just see how it looks. Oh, let me go back a little bit so I can hear it in full. So we repeat the phrase one more time. Repeat the melody one time, and there we go. We just let it loop. One last hit of the drum. We let everything echo out. And there you have it. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. Very interesting stuff. There you have it. That was Soul Snatcher by Dex Arson, featured in Geometry Dash, is my understanding. Once again, everybody, this has been the Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here has been to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what has happened here, musically. So, if you're watching this in the YouTube video archive thing, thank you for watching. Make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Repetitive, but sounds good. Yeah, repetition is your friend in music. Repetition is your friend in music. Do not ever forget that. It's just when you overdo it, and in this case, it was not. So yes, yes, if you're watching this on YouTube video archive thing, thank you for watching. Make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, at the time of recording, we recently passed 7,000 subscribers on YouTube, so thank you once again for that. I really do appreciate it. If we somehow hit 10,000 before Christmas of 2025, on top of doing the audiobook of the fanfiction of the choice of the community, I will also play a video game of the choice of the community, whatever y'all want, live on stream, within terms of service, of course. We're probably going to do, like, giveaways and whatnot for that kind of stuff, so yes. This has to be achieved through legitimate and honest means only. No account duping, no botting, no buying followers, no alt accounting, no rat behaviors like that. Go share the videos, the streams with your friends, with your families, with your family's friends, with your friends' families. Those are two very distinct concepts, by the way. With your online and offline communities, go share these videos with anybody and everybody that you know, far and wide. Use the hype function on YouTube. We have a group on the Discord that coordinates for that, so link down below, go coordinate with them. And yes, artists, Dex Arson, or anybody else out there on YouTube or otherwise, this is an open invitation. Let's collaborate. If you want any of my musical skills, whether it is my guitars, Mongolian throat singing, you know, the good old ooh, 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 kind of thing, regular singing, voice acting, whatever it is, reach out, let me know, let's make it happen, let's make it work. And if you're in the audience and you know somebody that could benefit from any of my skills, let them know, reach out. Please do not harass anyone, please do not spam anyone, keep it cool, don't be a rat. Members get early access to the content. I schedule the videos for the week on Saturdays, and if you're a paid member on YouTube, regardless of your tier, you get access to the videos, at least when it comes to the LFAs. So become a member today. If you want to listen to this without me interrupting every 3.5 seconds, I will be linking it in the description down below. If you want to request a song and you're not on the live stream, check the pinned comment. It has the instructions on what to do. And if you live... If you want to catch the streams when they happen live, we aim for Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Central European Time. If you are not in Europe, do not worry. We have the full up-to-date streaming schedule showing in your local time zone in both Discord and Twitch. Both are linked down below. So, if you live in Mountaintop, and you're like, yeah, but what time is 6 p.m. in Hungary? I don't live there. Do not worry. Just go to the Discord or the Twitch, and it's going to show in your local time zone. And follow the gaming channel. I have a gaming channel because, of course, I have a gaming channel. I'm on YouTube. What could I possibly have? Games are Bastard. That's where I put the gaming after show recordings when they happen. We record them live on stream as an after show, and then the recordings go there. Link down below, or just search on YouTube. Same username as James R. Bastard. Just up the J for a G, and you got it. And, yeah. There you go. Soul Snatcher, Dex Arson. That was really good. That was really, really good. Good stuff, good stuff. But, yeah, let's move on. Let's move on.